That's right. The reason no humans show up in A Bug's Life is because there aren't a lot left. We know because of the cockroach that some of the insects survived, meaning they would have rebounded a bit faster. Though the movie had to be far enough in the timeline for birds to have returned as well, though they're noticeably less intelligent than the bugs. I'll admit, the trees looking similar isn't enough to support the idea that A Bug's Life takes place after Wall-E, but there's definitely more reasons for why it's likely. Also, I'll bring the tree up again later, because it appears in Up as well. There's something strikingly different about A Bug's Life when compared to other Pixar portrayals of animals, which leads me to believe it takes place in the future, unlike Ratatouille, Up, and Finding Nemo. The bugs have many human activities similar to what the rats in Ratatouille were merely experimenting with. The bugs have cities, bars, advertisements, their own machines, know what a Bloody Mary is, and even have a traveling circus. This all assumes that the movie is in a different time period. The other factor that sets A Bug Life apart from other Pixar movies is the fact that it is the only one besides Cars and Cars 2 that doesn't revolve or even include humans. There's another Pixar movie that was supposed to be released in 2012 but was canceled and replaced with Brave. This movie was called Newt, and I believe it might have fit in this part of the timeline post Wall-E. The movie's supposed plot: what happens when the last remaining male and female blue-footed newts on the planet are forced together by science to save the species, and they can't stand each other. A movie about an endangered species rebuilding itself could lend itself nicely to this theory, but since the movie was never released, I'm kind of just speculating. So what happens next? Humanity, machines, and animals grow in harmony to the point where a new superspecies is born. Monsters. The monster civilization is actually Earth in the incredibly distant future. Now, someone wisely pointed out that Monsters University, the college, is said to be founded in 1313. If we're really in the future, then that means the monsters could have reset society and begun using their own calculator. That means Monsters, Inc. takes place up to 1400 or more years after A Bug's Life. So, where did they come from? It's possible that the monsters are simply the personified animals mutated after the diseased Earth was irradiated for 800 years. Not during Wall-E. I would guess that it took hundreds of years after Wall-E for the animals to become monsters. Whatever the reason, these monsters seem to all look horribly mutated animals, only larger and civilized. Somehow. They have cities and even colleges, as we see in Monsters University. An issue some have found is that this doesn't properly explain what happened to humans, but I haven't settled on a theory I really like yet. But I'm leaning towards the idea that monsters and machines eventually forgot that they need humans and got rid of them again, not realizing their mistake till all humans died out. Another explanation is that humans just couldn't survive on Earth anymore because of all the stuff that's happened. And yeah, that's where we are. In Monsters, Inc., they have an energy crisis because they're in a future without humans. Humans are the source of energy, as previously stated. But thanks to the machines, again, the monsters find a way to use doors to travel to the human world. Only it's not different dimensions. The monsters are going back in time. They're harvesting energy to keep from becoming extinct by going back to when humans were most prominent. The peak of civilization, if you will, though a lot of time has passed, animosity towards humans never really went away for animals or monsters. Monsters have riled on anti-human instincts to believe that just touching a human could corrupt their world like it did in the past. So they scare humans to gather their energy until they realize that laughter, green energy, is more efficient because it's positive in nature. Now, there is an alternative explanation that fits even better. Basically, it's the machines and monsters created the time travel doors, but realized that messing with time could erase their existence and change history. So they falsely trained monsters to believe that humans are toxic and from another dimension, making it suicide for a monster to interact too much with their world. Another issue is how the monsters seem to worry about kids being less scared these days. It's likely that going in the past takes a lot of energy, so the monsters can only go back as far as the practice still returns a profit in energy. To them, they're just moving through the same dimension of time, but the monsters at the top know that eventually they'll run out. This is why Waternose is so bent on capturing children and enslaving them. We even see a connection between A Bug's Life and Monsters, Inc. via the trailer we see in both movies. As you can see, the trailer looks exactly the same, and you guys will see this picture on screen near when I'm talking about this. Except the one in A Bug's Life is noticeably older and more decrepit, while the one in Monsters, Inc., where Randall is sent via a door, has humans and looks newer. Now, on the picture I'm going to show you guys, the image on the right is a picture from Monsters, Inc., and the picture on the left is the image from A Bug's Life. Now, you may be noticing that not only are these very, very similar, but they also have a truck. What truck could that be? But we'll get to that later. That being said, Monsters, Inc. is so far the most futuristic Pixar movie. By the end, humans, animals, and machines have finally found a way to understand each other and live harmoniously. And then there's Boo. What do you think happened to her?